Well, it's our Marilyn Muba started off his media briefing here at City Hall by telling us that the majority of Jackson residents should have normal water pressure. Now, there is still a boil water notice in effect for the city, but there's ongoing tests at OB Curtis Water Plant to hopefully lift that notice. And also, today's press conference was the majority of today's press conference was spent discussing the previous things that Jackson has done to fix this ongoing water crisis. Now, Marilyn Muba brought copies of previous documents written by the City of Jackson, the EPA, and many other parties showing that the City of Jackson has been proactive in this issue. Marilyn Muba also mentioned a letter he sent to Governor Tate Reeves in 2020 after extreme winter weather froze water services for many Jackson residents. Here's part of that letter.
I am requesting emergency funding from the state and federal government to make capital improvements necessary for the efficient operation of Jackson's water treatment plants and distribution network. These improvements are critical to the efforts to ensure that our residents and businesses are not deprived of clean water again.
Now, according to Marilyn Muba, he never received a response from the governor in that letter. Now, Marilyn Muba also showed us a draft of that fully outlined plan that he's mentioned to us before, but he did not give us any timeline on when those possible solutions will be implemented. And it's also worth mentioning that Congressman Benny Thompson said recently he has never seen a finished plan in person. So there are, of course, many questions still to be answered. Reporting live from City Hall, Richard Lake, 12 News.
Thank you, Richard. The OB Curtis water treatment plant held steady pressure over the last 24 hours. Right now, it's producing about 86 psi of water pressure. But the margin of storage that was built up over the weekend in the city's water tanks has decreased some. Now, workers at the plant have maintained a stable storage at the clear wells, but they haven't been able to push as much water into the overhead tanks as they would have liked to. Everything's holding its own right now, but if a challenge comes up at the plant, it will likely impact water customers.
This is part and parcel of what we've experienced at this very fragile water treatment facility. And so we're prayerful that there is no major interruption or crisis that occurs today because the safety net, if you will, that has been built up has decreased and is diminished. And so that is why we're prayerful that everything remains consistent and that we don't see any challenges there.
By the way, that investigative sampling began today to get an indication of water quality. Now, this is to determine when the official sampling can begin in order to clear the boil water notice. We got to have 2 consecutive days of clean water samples before the boil water notice can be lifted. Keep your fingers crossed.